Hello everyone, I'm CJ.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we're going to get under the covers of The Boy Detective Fails by Joe Meno. It's published in 2006 by Punk Planet Books. And I marked my progress throughout the novel with my bookmark. It's from this year's C2E2 in Chicago, the Sunday Pass.
And I marked mine with the Banned Books Week bookmark that I got at C2E2 at the library.
What a coincidence. Let's get into the plot right away. You can start first.
Well, the main plot of the book is that Billy is a former boy detective, and he is trying to solve the mystery of his sister's suicide while also kind of dealing with his own mental illness and being an adult.
And working at as a hair replacement salesman.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty funny and kind of depressing at the same time. There's also this kind of subplot with the town that he lives in. All these strange things are happening around him. Like buildings are disappearing, and there's snow in his bedroom when he turns. I believe he turns on the air conditioner.
The light.
Or the light. I'm sorry, the light. And I kind of thought it was because Billy was having mental issues, but other people notice it too. So I guess you can say it's very. It has elements of surrealism or magical realism in it, where strange and unusual things are happening in a real world scenario. And people just, pass it off like it's normal. All right, let's talk about how the mysteries are.
Well, in the beginning, when Billy is a kid and he's the boy detective, they're very Scooby-Doo-ish. They find, people under sheets and things like that. But then as he comes back as an adult and tries to solve the mysteries, they're much more adult mysteries, and they're a little more gory, or it's just a regular adult mystery, like a mystery of life that he's trying to figure out. So it's not necessarily a caper, but something he's just trying to solve.
Right. All right, let's talk about the characters. The main characters in this are Billy, Caroline, Effie, Gus, and Penny. Billy is the protagonist of this novel. He is the boy detective. He's a very unique character because he kind of has mental issues, but sometimes you're unsure if what he's seeing is a hallucination, or if it's really happening because of, like I said before, the surreal elements or the magical realism elements. And there's also this he cries a lot, and it's not usually done with a male protagonist. Like a crying male protagonist is considered weak, but Billy is kind of weak, but he overcomes that later on in the novel.
Yeah.
When he does what he has to do.
And it's definitely not portrayed as he's crying because he's weak. It's just kind of, it is what it is.
Right. And Caroline is, well, I guess you can say we can it's in the flap, so we can say Caroline is dead, but she's still a very strong presence in the book. How about you talk about Effie and Gus?
Effie and Gus are two children. I think Effie is 12 or something like that, and Gus is her younger brother, and they're both very smart, and they enlist Billy's help for a mystery that they have. They want his help, and they kind of befriend him. And Effie's very smart and gets picked on, and Gus is very smart and he's a school bully.
Which is an interesting dynamic, because you would think, like you said it before when we were talking, Gus can see his sister getting picked on, but yet he's a bully, so he doesn't learn his lesson through his sister that his being a bully kind of sucks. But there's also Billy's love interest in this novel is Penny, and Penny, what's it called when you like to steal things, but it's she's a kleptomaniac, and Billy can't understand why she steals, because usually Billy's the villains have reasons why they want to steal, or why they're doing what they're doing, but Penny's condition is like a mental condition, and there's no simple explanation for it. And I think that's why Billy's so intrigued by her.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I don't want to go too far into their love life because we don't want to spoil anything here. So we're just going to go straight into the narration of the novel. Why don't you?
Yeah, I think that overall the book has a very melancholy tone. There's a lot of rainy days, and just everyone is kind of a little down in the dumps.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, there's no rainbows and unicorns, so it's just
right. And he does a really good job of setting that up, like with what Ashley was saying, with like the rain and how everyone seems very lonely, and Joe Meno does a really good job of showing that in the novel. This novel, the text is very very postmodern, whereas it directly references the reader and directly asks the reader questions. And it also plays with the texts where like some pages will have just one word on it, or there's a page where it's snowing in the room, and it looks like kind of like snowflakes. And then there's some pages where it's just like a little small paragraph in the corner. So Joe Meno really plays with the text and changes it and uses the text to help tell the story, the style of the text to help tell a story. And there's also secret messages in this novel, and it's one of the fun things. The novel comes with a little decoder ring that you kind of have to assemble yourself, and I did mine with a paper clip. And Billy gets secret messages that he has to decode, and you can decode them yourself. And I thought that was really interesting. I've never really seen like a book do that before, like a book like this do that before.
Yeah, nice interactive element there.
How did you do yours?
I had it's in my bag, but I had a straight pen, and I just put it through and then put an eraser on the end. So.
Oh, well, that works too. Let's talk about the characters in the narration.
Characters were very well written. Every character, even if they were a really small character, had their own voice and their own feeling, and you cared about them even if they were just a minor person. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, there was no character that I wasn't interested in. Like, every character caught our attention. And you want to talk about the last part?
Oh, yeah. That the book definitely lovingly mocks the mystery genre. Kind of makes fun of it a little, but it embraces it too, because it is a mystery. But the way that there are these Scooby-Doo-like mysteries, and there's references to other kid detectives.
The Hartley Boys.
Hartley Boys. We know who you mean.
Right.
We got it.
Yes.
So I liked that, and I liked they had headlines from the cases that they solved, which sounded very cartoony.
Yeah, and there was also that part where after one of the crimes is solved, it kind of gives you a time lapse. Like he tells you, picture this like a time lapse, and that also plays into the postmodern style, where instead of just saying it as it's happening, he's telling the reader how to interpret it. And that also it kind of mocks the television genre of a crime scene interpretation in a way, but it also embraces that because it's using it to help tell the story. And now we're going to get into our final thoughts and ratings. We're going to let Ashley go first because I've already messed up the first two.
I really enjoyed the book. I really enjoyed the postmodern style. I like that a lot. I'm kind of a modern fiction fan. One of my favorite things about the book was the melancholy tone and the vulnerability of the characters, and this theme of loneliness. How everyone is lonely together, but they're trying to still make connections. I really liked that about it.
Okay, and I tried to mention before, I also really liked this novel. I liked all the characters, and I liked how the surrealism really affected the mystery elements, because sometimes you couldn't really tell if what was happening was real or if it was an hallucination. And that really, after reading it, I would go back and think about that, or about certain things, like if that was just Billy or if that was real. And I really took that away from this novel, that there was a lot of things I could think about after reading it, and it kind of helped the novel like live on in my mind. So I thought that was really cool. I also really like the character Gus. It's just I don't want to spoil a lot, but he kind of gets a raw deal in this novel, and I kind of felt for the kid. So with that said, let's give our final ratings. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4.5. Ashley?
I'm also going to give it a 4.5.
So once again, we both gave the novel the same rating. So 4.5 plus 4.5 is 9. So 9 out of 20. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. So overall, I guess you'd say it's an A.
Yeah.
So we both really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Ashley's going to come back again and help me review another novel that we will mention later, or I will mention later, or we'll just surprise you. So with that said, The Boy Detective Fails by Joe Meno. We both gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, which totals out to be 9 out of 10 stars, if I'm doing my math correct. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
See you next time.